And here I thought NFT art could not get worse. I kid, of course. A lot of NFT art's fine. Not all of it. A lot of it, though. Hey guys, welcome to the Metaverse. In this video, I'm going to go over an article that I found extremely interesting when I was looking up NFT news today, and I think a lot of you are going to find it really interesting too, depending on your interests. Real quick, guys, before we get started, about 84% of you are not subscribed, and it would make me really happy if that changed. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video and leave a comment, and ring that notification bell next to the subscribe button in order to get kept up to date on all of my uploads. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. So here we go, guys. Here's the title of this article. Rob Liefeld launching comic The Defiance as NFT. There's a lot of big things that are in that title alone. Now, for those that don't know, Rob Liefeld is a very, very famous, for a lot of different reasons, comic book artist. And while he might get a fair amount of derision, especially for his art sometimes, you cannot deny the fact that the man's a legend, a legendary comic book artist. And the fact that he is working on an NFT project is a pretty big signal. Not only that, but if we read here, it says the Deadpool writer and artist plans the book to be one of 4 titles in a new universe. So whether that means the entire universe is going to be NFTs or just the first installment or who knows is up in the air, but I really like this idea. Without even reading the rest of the article, I'll get to that in a second. Just right off the bat, I love this idea. I am a huge comic book nerd myself, and I know that a lot of you guys are too. So the idea of like a comic book issue as an NFT is super interesting. I'm not 100% on exactly how it would work. I assume it's just going to be, a link to the file itself. That's going to be, I don't know, maybe a PDF or something like that, with pages that you can flip through. And I don't really know how ownership is going to work. If only one person can own this issue of the comic book, if only one person is going to own all 4, is that going to incentivize the person to buy, all 4 themselves so they can own the whole, set or whatever, which in this case, the collection would be a whole universe, like a new universe in comic books. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's continue reading on. Maybe the article gives a bit more information. It says, 30 years ago, Rob Liefeld was among the comic book creators who left mainstream publishing to form Image Comics, huge name, an upstart company that grew to become the 3rd biggest publisher in North America. Once again, the comics industry is in flux, and a number of creators are dabbling in a new medium, non-fungible tokens. On January 2nd, Liefeld will become the latest creator to dive into the world of NFTs with the launch of the new superhero comic The Defiance, which will be available via Maker's Place. I'll have to check that out. I haven't really looked into Maker's Place. Just some blurb. Liefeld, who is a comic book art collector, has been watching the NFT space grow over the past 18 months as noteworthy creators such as Frank Miller, Matt Kind, and publishers such as DC and Marvel entering it in a bit of a controversial way, maybe not the greatest entry, have entered the space. The medium rose to mainstream prominence in the comic space in early 2021 when DC artist Jose Delbo sold $1.85 million worth of NFT art featuring Wonder Woman, the hero he worked on in the 1970s. Liefeld plans The Defiance to be the first of 4 titles he introduces via NFT. He actually began work on the project 4 years ago before the explosion of NFTs and decided it was the right distribution model for the project. Yeah, now is definitely the time to be getting into this. Offbeat concept featuring it's just the characters and some art. Some characteristically Rob Liefeld art. You've got lots of pouches and no feet and these little tiny, blobbed amorphous hands and these sort of totally non-expressive, nondescript faces and some interesting shading going on. I'm not going to critique his art the whole time. I could be here all day critiquing Rob Liefeld's art. That brings me on to my overall thoughts on this. I really love this idea. I think there's a huge, venue for this kind of thing to happen, and it was basically inevitable. The one hang up I have is I wish it was anyone else. I wish it was anyone else doing the art. There are very few comic book artists whose art I dislike as much as Mr. Rob Liefeld's, and I'm not the only one that thinks that. If you are maybe not in the know about comic books, he is one of the most hotly contested comic book artists of all time. A lot of his art gets memed. You've probably seen that picture of Captain America with the horrifying barrel chest. That's him. That's Rob Liefeld. And he's got a lot of art staples that I can't wait to point out in this new NFT. But just the concept of it alone is stellar. That's a total knockout. I would be so on board. If only it were anyone else. I mean, maybe he'll. No, he won't. He won't change anything. His art style has remained the same for 30 years, and it's not changing anytime soon. Even in these little promotional bits, it's so Rob. It's so Rob Liefeld. I mean, just quality. Hopefully this kind of sparks, an interest in this kind of thing, and we do get, more publishers, more comic book artists and publishers entering the NFT space in any way, really. I mean, wherever there is great art that can be added into the medium, I'm going to get excited as an artist, especially. Now, I'm sure when more news about this comes out, there will be some more written about it, and I'll cover that when that happens, because I'm very interested in how the distribution platform is going to handle this and how the actual ownership role plays a part in this project, because it's not super clear from this little article, and this is very, very recent news, so it's up in the air how it's going to work at this point based on the information we have. But once we get more, I'm definitely going to do a follow-up, because this is a super interesting topic to me, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are just chomping at the bits to find out more about this project. But anyways, that's about all I've got for you today. If you liked the video, be sure to like it and comment. It's a great way to leave feedback. Make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell if you want to stay up to date on all of my uploads. I have a lot of content in the works, and I'm sure you're all going to love it. Until next time, stay meta.